So we did have process, and I thought the reason it fit in well with after what we just talked about, because you can do the visualizations, but unless it fits into that process and really, like you said, picks it up from the dashboard and continue on with your process, then it doesn't work. So we did talk about, and you guys please help me out, make sure I don't forget anything. I lost. Oh, there you are, John. So we talked about the importance of how understanding of how data is being used today and what the processes are. And we even talked about some different tools in terms of journey mapping. You know, you can even journey map either from a persona standpoint or even from a data standpoint through the journey, to just really understand how is it being used today first, to really be able to then put together that, well, what can we do differently in the future? We talked a lot about the ROI of data and having those dashboards and being able to sell the value. We talked about value stream mapping and using that to help sell the value.
Does everybody know what value stream mapping is? Or John, you want to?
Value stream mapping is a lean technique that basically is trying to identify within a process where the long poles of the process are. So how can you optimize a process, which could be a data, I'm the only, and I'm here, I should have the mic. Sorry. Lean value stream mapping is about identifying really the flow of data or the flow of a process through its completion. Could be a data process, could be a UI, could be anything. But in the data perspective, if you were to send something from A to B through a series of data or APIs, where are the bottlenecks in that process? What could be optimized and cut out? If you can optimize the process through lean value stream mapping, then optimizing the process results in an ROI. So now there's a benefit of making certain changes along the way. So that is a technique that could be used. It's a page out of lean more than HCD perspective, but it's still a valuable, I think, perspective, especially with data, with no interfaces on the other end. But something I thought was kind of cool that came out of our discussion that we had early on was not just about the visualization of it, but we don't know what to visualize. You've got a lot of data. What do what's the value in it? So I thought that was sort of insightful from the ladies that were in our group, saying it'd be great if we can start dashboarding the data and then analyze insights from there to identify this objectively adds value if you would do A. So it can lead to a direction and not just be the result of a direction. So I thought that was really insightful. What else?
I think we talked a little bit about, kind of what you just mentioned, where go ahead and visualize the data for them, for the users, and iteratively kind of get that feedback from them, show it to them, get their feedback. And then we also talked about trust in terms of a lot of our end users don't trust what we're showing them, but if you're involving them in that iterative design process throughout, then they're going to be coming along with you and really trust what you're doing. Anything else you guys want to add?
I think that was the gist of it.
Okay.
So,
What were the biggest thorny things that you are having trouble with in your day-to-day in this space?
For us in particular, I would say the adoption of the HCD techniques and taking the time up front to do some of the things we've talked about.
And that was
to get it right.
The visualization group said the same thing about it takes time.
Yeah.
Get people to say, yeah, I'll spend the time.
Right.
They actually use it.
just another plug for the book, the name of the book again.
A cost-justifying usability.
Cost justifying usability. So it is from that perspective, it had a lot of good techniques on how to specify. If you spend the money up front doing the HCD, you spend the money up front understanding the problem, you'll save money over the cost of the project. So sometimes numbers speak well, especially at a high level. So I think that would be useful, might be useful.
And I think the other thing is we don't need to take the time to understand what they're doing today because we're changing it.
So that's the objection, right? Why do we need an
Yeah.
as-is?
Right.
Because, so how do we answer that?
You're changing it if you don't understand the as-is. How do you change it?
But we got this guy that's a SME over here that has been working at a high level with those people, they know.
Common sense is only common after it's been proven, right?
Right.
But what you said is important, you gotta show that person the ROI. You gotta say, here's why it'll pay off.
But you can't do that without having the as-is. You have to have a state, and this goes, from my perspective as a developer, someone skew it just a little bit, but from the testing perspective, how do I know I fixed the problem? I don't know I fixed the problem until I say, here's what the problem is, and here I proved to you I changed it by this many degrees or this many dollars. I mean, yes, what the business proposes oftentimes is a great idea. It may save a ton of money, but they don't know how much. They think this will save $1 million, may only save them $100. And there's so many other things that would save $1 million easier if they just understood what the problem was. So getting that as is, or that first initial state, I think is really important to understand how beneficial the change will be, whether it's an ROI or just moving the needle.